Hi, welcome to the lesson Translate Algebraic Expressions. The aim of this lesson is to learn how to translate from verbal expressions into algebraic terms. What if we have something like 10 plus 5? This can be expressed verbally as the sum of 10 and 5, right? What if instead of 10 there is a variable as x plus 5? You can express this as the sum of a number and 5. Okay. Now let's translate this. 3 plus a number. Now 3 plus a number can be translated to 3 plus a variable. You can use any variable. It's 3 plus p. Also, this algebraic term can be described in different ways verbally. Right? Think about it. How differently this can be described verbally? Yes, number one, the sum of three and a number. Sum of three and a number. Number two, a number is added to three. And number three, a number is increased by three. So these are the three different ways to describe 3 plus p. Therefore, if you are asked to translate the sum of 3 and a number is added to 3 or a number is increased by 3, your answer is 3 plus p. Now, if you ask me, can you write this as p plus 3? Yes, you can write it as p plus 3 because in addition, the order doesn't matter. You can write it as 3 plus p or p plus 3. Both are correct. Now let's take a look at some examples for subtraction. Let's have 4 less than a number. Translate 4 less than a number into algebraic term. Then the answer is a number is represented by a variable p and 4 less, so it's subtract 4. Now, can you write this as 4 subtract p? 4 subtract p? No, I cannot. Because if you switch the two numbers when you subtract, the answers are going to be different. Right? For example, what is 1 subtract 10 and 10 subtract 1? Are they same? 1 subtract 10 is negative 9. 10 subtract 1 is positive 9. Therefore, you cannot switch in subtraction. Now think about different ways to describe this algebraic term verbally. Yeah. Number one, Difference between a number and 4. All right. Number 2, take away 4 from a number and subtract 4 from P, which means subtract 4 from a number. Okay, these are the different ways to describe P subtract 4. 4 from a number. Okay, so if you are asked to translate difference between a number and 4, take away 4 from a number, subtract 4 from a number, then your answer should be P subtract 4. Or this P can be replaced by any other alphabet, it doesn't matter, but the 4 should be in the second part of the answer. Alright, now let's take a look at some examples for multiplication. What if we have 2 times a number? Yes, 2 times a number can be translated to 2, I'm using n, 2n. If you want to write 2 times n, that's also right. Or if you want to write n times 2, that's also right. But it's written 2n. Most commonly, it's written 2n. This is the best expression, 2n. Think about different ways to describe this. The product of 2 and a number. Product of 2 and a number, or a number and 2. And you can say multiply 2 and a number. Also, we can say simply twice a number. 2 times is twice a number. A number is n. These are the examples for some examples for multiplication. Let's take a look at division. Let's have C is divided by 5. C is divided by 5. Or you can have a number is divided by 5. Then you're going to write is C divided by 5, or C division 5. Alright, I'm going to check it out. And we have C divided by 5, or you can say C division 5. Now verbally this can be explained or described as the quotient of a number and 5. So or the ratio of a number and 5. All right, now let's see some more challenging questions. What if you have 3 times the difference of a number and 1? 3 times the difference of a number and 1. All right. 3 times the difference of a number and 1 can be translated to 3 parenthesis p subtract 1. Now this is more complex question because you have to use parentheses. Assume this into two separate parts. 3 times is first part, the difference of a number and 1 is the second part. So we have used parentheses instead of times. The reason we are using parentheses here is that in the second part we have independent groups of terms. P subtract 1. There are multiple terms. Therefore, to multiply multiple terms by a number, you always have to use parentheses. If you do not use parentheses, you will not get the correct answer. Okay? So that's first example. Another example, 1/2 of the sum of 6 and C, subtract the product of 5 and H. Right, 1/2 of the sum of 6 and C, subtract the product of 5 and H. All right, translate this. The first keyword is 1/2. So let's try to start with 1/2 of the sum of 6 and C. See, you have to take this as a separate part. The sum of 6 and C. 6 plus C is the sum of 6 and C. As we have group of independent terms, we need to multiply, we need to use parentheses. Then subtract the product of 5 and H. Subtract. Product of 5 and H is simply 5H. And we are done. Alright? Now, having these examples, we are going to look at the assignment, the first assignment you are given in the next page. Translate algebraic expressions. The question 1. Subtract 2/3 from 9 times m. So now use the knowledge that you learned in the previous pages to translate. Subtract 2/3 from 9 times m. Now the answer is going to be, as we are subtracting from 9 times m. Let's write that first. 9 times m, subtract 2/3. What's the variable here? M. It's easy because the variable is already given. So it doesn't make you think much, right? Next problem. 9 is subtracted from f. This is simpler than that. So the answer is it 9 subtract f or f subtract 9? It's from f, so you need to start with f, subtract 9. Okay. Third question. 1/5 of the sum of x and 8 minus the product of 6 and b. This looks like similar to the complex example we saw just now. All right. We start with the 1/5. Sum of x and 8 is translated to x plus 8. Now, as we have group of independent terms, we have to use parentheses minus, or in other words, subtract. The product of 6 and b is represented by 6b, and we are done. All right, students, this is the video on the day one assignments. I hope you have learned about translate algebraic expressions. Leave your comments in the comment box about what you have learned from this video and what are the questions you still have on this topic. Also, you can email your questions to me.